Okay, so October is always a huge month for me, being a kind of horror nut and fan. It's the month where you get a lot of big releases and a lot of things I'm interested in. This October is already stacked. We've got the Friday the 13th collection coming from Scream, and we have the Dawn of the Dead. Amazing collection, I'm assuming, coming from Second Sight Films. That's already taken up a portion of my budget for October. Luckily enough, I've already paid that stuff off, so I'm looking for picking up a couple of other things. And we have announcements, new announcements for two of my favourite companies, Arrow and Eureka. And we're going to have a little look at these and decide if there's anything that interests us and to see who wins the Battle of October between these two companies. So let's dive in to the first movie. First, we're going to look at Arrow's movies, and the first one we have here is Cold Light of Day. This is one of these movies that I've never heard of before. Having a little bit of a look into it, seems to be based on the serial killer Dennis Nielsen. And this seems to be like a fictionalised story, but from what I've heard, it kind of glamorises a lot of what this guy did, and it was really put upon when it came out, and it's something that I haven't seen a trailer for, I haven't read too much about. It's one that I am curious about. Not enough to actually purchase it, but curious enough to be, looking at it. So if you know anything more about this one, let me know whether I should, look at maybe picking it up, wait till a later sale date and maybe picking it up at a cheaper price. Next up from Arrow, we've got Warning from Space, which is the first killer science fiction movie shot in Japan. And it seems, looking at the trailers, very akin to the kind of 50s science fiction movies that America were doing, although this one's apparently quite quirky, quite comedic. It's got some really wonderful design in it apparently, but again, it's not one that jumps out at me as a must-own title for October. It's merely a curiosity that I may get to at some point. I'll have a little look at the extras, which here, commentary, first ever HD release, American release of the movie, in the first pressing only, illustrated collector's booklet, the usual kind of stuff. We'll just have a look at Cold Light of Day and see what the extras were on that. New 2K restoration, a couple of commentaries, newly filmed interviews, a promo film made to raise financing of the feature. That seems quite an interesting addition. That's the kind of thing that I would go to and check straight away. Two short films starring the director of the movie. I'm kind of curious about that as well. 2-minute ones. And of course a die cut O card, which nice, and an original booklet. Next one from Arrow, we've got The Deeper You Dig. Now this is one I saw it at Fright Fest last year, and I enjoyed the movie. It was a family-made production. They had a young daughter, wife, husband. They filmed, shot, edited, put it all together. It's remarkably accomplished for being such a small crew who have made several movies before, and it kind of deals with loss and death, haunting, spooky, afterworld type of stuff as well. And it's interesting enough. Now this one comes with another movie, The Hatred, which I know nothing about. I'm kind of curious about that one. The movie's not something that I would jump out as I need to own immediately. It's one that I may pick up at some point, and again, it would depend on the price point. But The Deeper You Dig was an interesting enough movie, but again, not one I would want on the collection. There'll be somewhere on here like a link to the review for that. And the most disappointing and last release from Arrow this month is The Last Starfighter, which is just, it's heartbreaking that this is only a US release. This would have won the month for me if this was a UK release. I love The Last Starfighter, and the extras on this one are wonderful. A 4K scan of the original 35 camera negative, brand new audio commentary, archival audio commentary with Nick Castle, the man who directed this, who was also the Shape in Halloween. We've got some other things, plus more extras to be announced. And the first pressing only, guaranteed through pre-orders, is the O-card, reversible poster, a collector's booklet, a new writing. And I've heard rumours of some of the other extras on this, and for me, this is a standout, fantastic, must-have release that is just so upsetting that it's only America. I want this. The import fees are astronomical, ridiculous just now, or else I would. What I really need is a US buddy to help me out and send these kind of things to me. But that's a great movie. So that's Arrow encompassed. There are 4 releases this month which are rather lackluster. You know, the past couple of Halloweens, Octobers, they've released amazing movies, whether it be last year with An American Werewolf in London and Nightbreed, or the year before with the Carrie limited edition. They've always released something big, or The Thing a couple of years back as well. This year feels light, very light, and a lot disappointed with Arrow on this one. We'll jump into Eureka's 4 releases, and we'll start off with the dud of the bunch, one I've got nothing to say about. Grange Hill series 9 to 10, who cares? Not me, not interested in this at all. Then we've got The Bride with White Hair, directed by Ronnie Yu, the man that did Bride of Chucky, and amongst other things. Warriors of Virtue. Man, remember that movie? Crazy. And this is one, it's about an evil cult. It looks very stylistic, colourful, almost comic booky in the way it's staged, lots of Dutch angles, smoky scenes. I love the aesthetic. This is a movie I've wanted to see for a long as well, so I'm quite curious about getting it. It's a new 4K restoration, always good. Newly translated English subtitles, which is always good as well, because normally some of the older ones are a little bit ropey. I get a commentary with Ronnie Yu, a new interview with Ronnie Yu, an archival making of featurette, and this is one that I am probably going to pre-order. I'm so close to pulling the trigger. If you've seen it, give me that little nudge I need just to push me over the edge on this one. Next up, we have Sleepwalkers, directed by Mick Garris, who, I mean, this thing about incestuous vampiric cat creatures is something that needs to be seen. I think, you know, it's not perfect. Some of the CG is rather ropey nowadays, but it's a real oddball of a movie, and I kind of like it. I did a review on this one a while back. Link will be up here somewhere. This one has got a commentary with Mick Garris, another one with Madchen Amick and Brian Krause, the 2 stars of it. Behind the scenes footage. It's got a booklet and an O-card slipcase with the first printing. Sleepwalkers, if you haven't seen it, is really pulpy. I'm sure it's under 90 minutes, 80 something or other. It doesn't say on here, but it's quick, it's weird. There is nothing else I can think even remotely like it. It is most definitely a very 90s production in its aesthetic, in its execution. And it's one of these ones that I can't put my hand up and say is a great movie, but it's a really fun oddball one, and it's one that I'm tempted by, but I just watched it last year, so I'm not too sure if I'm ready to pull the trigger on it straight away. And the last one from Eureka is 976 Evil. Now, I've seen part 2 a lot, and I'm not too sure if I've seen the first one. Directed by Robert Englund in 1988. The extras on this one, a commentary with Englund, the home video version, an extended version of the film from its original home video release. That's going to be one of those kind of real oddball things that you throw on one night after you've seen the movie a few times. New interview with makeup effects, new interview with special effects technician, and some other things as well. And basically this one's stars Stephen Jeffries, who was Evil Ed in Fright Night. He plays Hoax, and it's basically about a horoscope calling. You call in, it gives you your horoscope reading, but it's turning people into killers. and it's really, from what I remember and by the looks of it, it's kind of campy, kind of over the top fun, really well staged and shot by the looks of it, and is entirely my cup of tea, something I will be ordering to add to my already crazy October release schedule. So there we have it, the 8 releases that have been announced from Arrow and Eureka. You know, I think Arrow really dropped the ball this year. There's nothing outstanding that makes me excited as a film fan, something that I really want to jump onto. But then when you look at Eureka's release schedule, other than Grange Hill, which you know, it is rather remarkable looking, and I can see reasons for picking up all 3 of the Eureka movies. The only thing holding me back is finances. 976 Evil is my pickup from these 7 movies, closely followed by Bride with White Hair, and that'll probably be the 2 that I pick up out of these, unless I can somehow get my hands on the Last Starfighter, which I desperately need in my collection. Out of these movies, is there anything you'd recommend and why? Let me know in the comments and let other people know in case we want to get that little nudge to buy this one out. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Manvfilm.